Hello one and all, welcome to this, part 1 presumably, and probably, of my Extreme Rules results video. Now, I would have posted this earlier if it wasn't for two things. One, I was really tired, which, to be honest, I wasn't really planning on staying up last night, but I thought, fuck it, I'll do it anyway. And second, Osama bin Laden's death was on the news, and I thought, oh, I better look at that. And I'm really happy about his death because it means we can at least no longer know that he's alive plotting things. Anyway, with that out of the way, I want to quickly show you something. This is 8 pages worth of notes. 8 pages. And it is ridiculous that I managed to type out that much last night, but I was in one of those moods where I had to get as much down as possible because these matches, for the most part, did last some time. And I have to say, overall, the show wasn't that bad. I mean, I thought it was actually quite good. But let's get right to it, shall we? Because I don't want to hold you guys back any longer, seeing as you've waited quite a few hours for this. The first match that started off was quite a shocking one, actually, to see that CM Punk versus Randy Orton was the first match. Now, I thought to myself, oh, come on. This is a main event match for definite. Why the hell is this on first? And I just think to myself, oh, it's retarded. But anyway, just to open it, won't do anything. Nexus was flanking CM Punk to ringside. Raw GM chimes in, saying that they must resolve their issues one-on-one, and therefore Nexus is banned from ringside. I really wanted to see them get involved. It would have made it a lot more interesting, a lot more intriguing, in my opinion. Anyway, before Punk gets in the ring, he removes his to the turnbuckle pad, and the bell rings to start the match. Both stare off and exchange punches. Orton hits a clothesline and kicks Punk into the face, throws him to the outside and into the barricade, followed by an uppercut and being slammed into the steel steps. Punk then rolls back to the ring, begging for Orton to stop, which makes him look really weak, doesn't it? He then fights back, though, with knees to the face, and the match, I have to admit, is quite slow so far. It hasn't really kicked off, even though what I'm describing does sound quite fast-paced. I assure you it probably isn't as fast as that. Anyway, Orton blocks the turnbuckle that was exposed, but Punk resumes kicking him. And he gets him down. Ref counts to 3 as Orton gets back to his feet. Orton rolls Punk through and hits a high knee drop. Punk rolls to the outside and gets a kendo stick from under the ring, hits Orton in the chest with it. Orton then goes to the barricade and gets whacked again by Punk. Punk then rolls Orton back into the ring, whacks him in the elbow with a kendo stick. Orton then is back into the corner. He now fights back himself, gets the kendo stick, and then Punk does a spinning back kick into the groin, which they say is a kick to the midsection to wind him. It's a low blow, in my opinion. Think of it whatever you will. It's still a low blow if someone's clutching their groin and falling to the ground. Makes sense. Punk whacks Orton in the shoulder, taunts the crowd, which causes, I think, is a considerable sea of boos, even though I don't expect Punk to get booed, even though he's a heel. He's a damn good wrestler. Backdrop by Punk, orders the ref to count it, not this early in the match, damn it. Punk then springboards to get kendo stick to the chest in mid-air by Orton. Orton swings a few whacks of his own. Orton looks to be going for the RKO, hits a few clotheslines and his patented backbreaker, which I do still love, I have to say. Punk is lined up for the Hangman DDT. Punk counters and catapults Orton into the exposed turnbuckle. Both men are down. Punk gets up quickly, though. Punk gets a steel chair, props it up in the turnbuckle, runs and knees Orton in the face. Orton counters, another attempt to run into the chair. Punk goes for the GTS, Orton counters that, goes for the RKO, and then counters into another GTS attempt, again by Punk. Orton then counters that, and throws Punk face first into the steel chair. Ouch. Punk is then thrown into the barricade and the ring apron a few times by Randy Orton, followed by a nice power slam in the ring. And on the ring, on the outside. Booker got it correct. Cole, learn a fucking lesson. It's a power slam, not a stupid fucking scoop slam. He's never going to get it right, is he? Punk gets up at 8. Orton takes the announcer's table apart. However, going towards Orton, Orton goes towards Punk. Punk boots him right in the face. Orton gets up at 8. Punk performs Punk hits a forearm to the face, tries to throw Orton onto the table. Orton counters and throws Punk onto the table, and backdrops Punk onto the barricade, which looks pretty sick. Nice spot. Orton throws Punk into the ring, taunts for the RKO. Punk clotheslines him, sets up a GTS, and it connects. The ref is counting after a GTS hit, and Orton is already moving at the count of 3. You just got a knee to the fucking face. You got to be down a bit longer to increase suspense and tension, man. I'll tell you, that's what I would have done if I got hit by that, or I'd be flat knocked out. It's ridiculous. And he gets up at 9, I can understand that. But the crowd is slowly dying. Their interest is a bit weary now. They're not really doing much, I have to say. Punk backs Orton into the corner, grabs another chair, does a nice arm break, leg sweep on the chair, which is Pretty cool. Orton again gets up at 9. Punk opens the chair up, lines for another leg sweep, and Orton hits the RKO out of nowhere. Punk gets up at 9, only just. Punk, though, gets out of the ring and goes to the corner barricade, where the timekeeping area is. Orton clotheslines him over into that area. Orton sets up the Hangman DDT. Punk counters and drives Orton into the steel post face first. Love that. Punk then sets up another chair by the announce table as Orton gets up for 9. Punk puts the open chair around Orton's neck and then slams him into the post. Love that. Really quite a bit of a spot that I haven't seen for quite some time. And then Orton gets up for 9. How the hell can you get up for 9 from that? Punk beats his head around the post, throws him onto the announce table. Punk gets on it, picks him up and sets him up for a GTS. Orton fights out and RKO's Punk on the table. It did not break. Wish it did. There's a guy behind the table screaming the count, though, as the referee's doing it. Quite funny if you notice it, but just thought, my God, what are you doing? Screaming the count back at the ref. Punk gets up at 9, however, he falls down quickly. Orton lines up a punt. Punk catches him and slams him onto the steel steps. Punk gets another kendo stick as Orton gets up for 9. Punk uses the stick as a walking stick to help himself up the stairs. Bit of a different thing to see there. He's trying to keep himself up. Good use of ingenuity there. Goes to the top rope. Orton grabs a kendo stick and whacks Punk with it repeatedly. Orton uppercuts. Punk gets to the top rope and RKO's Punk off the top rope. Ref counts as both men are down. Orton slowly gets up. Literally, just as Orton clambers up the ropes, it's a 10 and Orton wins it. Now, I said Punk to win. I'm pissed off that Orton has won, although I will say this was a good match. I have to say, though, with all the weapon shots, with all the nice moves and the RKO off the top rope, the match was quite slow at times. It did take. I know in a last man standing match you can have that lack of pace, but to me it was a bit too slow for my tastes, I have to say. And in fairness, I think the crowd wasn't very good either. Just to think they were supposed to be in this match, and they really were into it when Orton was attacking. When Punk was attacking, the crowd were just about dead. And because of that, and the fact that Orton winning, I just think him getting up right at the count of 10 demeans it slightly, meaning he could have lasted longer. They could have made better. There could have been so much more they could have done with this match. Have Nexus interfere, which of course they got rid of at the start. Punk actually Orton moving at the count of 3 after being hit by GTS, and Punk not moving after an RKO from the top rope. To me, I don't understand how that even works out that way. So I'm going to be a bit. I probably think people think this is a bit harsh of me, but 2.5 stars. It wasn't the best match I've ever seen in terms of last man standing. Definitely wasn't that bad. It wasn't that good either. It wasn't that bad. Wasn't that good either. So middle of the road, just about. If it wasn't for the crowd, the pace of the match, and the ending, I would have been okay. Well, not the ending. The ending move was cool, but just Orton being Superman again. He definitely doesn't need this win, and therefore it's a piece of crap at that point. So it's now 2.5 stars. Doesn't really matter. I'm alright with that. Next up, we got a bonus match announced by Teddy Long. I hate it when they do it. Was Kofi Kingston defeating Sheamus to win the US title in an okay tables match. I have to say this wasn't that bad. Bell rings as both Kofi and Sheamus kick and punch each other. Kofi beats down Sheamus a bit more on the canvas. Gets a table. Sheamus then hits him from behind. Sheamus gets a table of his own. Kofi hits a punch to level Sheamus and get another table. Kofi sets it up. Throws Sheamus face first onto the table. Sheamus then on the table, but quickly gets off as Kofi runs and then boots him in the face and throws him into the barricade. The crowd don't really seem interested. Then again, when you have a match that's just put on now, it makes sense why they're just completely dead. Sheamus gets up another table, sets him up in a cross-bomb position with Kofi on his back. Kofi fights out, but Sheamus throws him back into the ring anyway and throws himself over the... And then this is just quite a good thing. Sheamus is then on the apron. This is quite funny. I think it's headbutted by Kofi, slowly bouncing off the back of the ring. Kofi then runs at Sheamus from the other side of the ring, and then Sheamus jumps over the top rope and clotheslines him. I love that. Was brilliant. Love that move. Love that move. And then they just get another table out. Why so many tables? You're only going to use one in the end. Only bring out 1 or 2 tables. It's just too much of a clusterfuck also for the ring officials to clear up. Okay. Kofi has his arms on the ropes as the table is then shoved into his chest by Sheamus inside just through the ropes. Nice. Sheamus drops the table onto Kofi a few times and then stands on it to get a nice reaction from the crowd. Well, what I mean nice is a very heavy amount of booing. Definitely good for a heel to get that kind of reaction. Sheamus sets up in the corner, throws Kofi face first onto it. Picks him up and almost drives him through it. Kofi counters, rolls him through, and Sheamus then gets planted face first onto the table. Kofi misses Sheamus, trying to get through the table. As Sheamus goes out of the way, he lands, putting his feet on the ropes in between the table. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic spot. Oh, where am I? I kind of get lost. Lands in between it. Sheamus then sets up a cross bomb. Kofi gets out of it. Sheamus runs into the ropes. Kofi tries to suplex Sheamus over, but fails. Sheamus kicks Kofi off the apron, and Kofi jumps over the table. Ingenuity there being used. I keep getting lost here. Back in the ring, Sheamus lines up the table for in the corner. Puts Kofi on the top rope into a running power slam position, which could look a bit sick. Kofi fights out. Sheamus falls off the top rope and also whacks Kofi off the top as well. Sheamus on the apron suplexes Kofi up, but he counters. Hits Trouble in Paradise, but Sheamus lands beside the table, not on it, which wouldn't have gone through it. Sheamus is just leaning over the table. Kofi goes onto the top rope, going for a crossbody splash, but then turns it into the boom drop in midair, hits Sheamus through the table. We have a new US champion in Kofi Kingston. Now, that match, for one that was made up on the spot, did actually have some good spots in it. I actually had good use of tables, and then even though there were too many of them for my own liking, it was a bit slow because of the enormous attempts of getting the tables out. But for a match being made up on the night, I quite enjoyed it. Good innovative spots, good crowd reactions, and some nice stuff. I'll give it 2 stars. I'm being nice. I'd probably give this 1.5, but I don't know. I'm in a good mood. I feel I can give this match a 2-star. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to do the... I'm going to do this next match. Michael Cole and Jack Swagger defeating Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross in a tag team country whipping match. Yeah, use of leather straps is legal, eh? Why don't you just call it a strap match? It'd be easier for me to say it's a strap match, call it a strap match. It's also a traditional tag match too. Did not see this coming. Swagger versus Lawler, basically me expecting to start. JR whipping Swagger in the back. Lawler whips him some more. And Cole gets tagged in. Cole taunts that he's invincible with his bubble wrap protection. He came out wearing bubble wrap. What a bastard. You can't even take up a fair fight, you dick. Lawler delivers a right hand and rips off the bubble wrap. A decent crowd reaction. Cole runs and tags in Swagger. Swagger shoulders Lawler into the corner and beats him with the strap. King is tied to the rope with the strap as Cole and Swagger repeatedly tag each other back in, slapping the crap out of King. Not good. And then basically Swagger beats and taunts the camera, which is quite a nice spot. Beats King down with some more. Unties him and throws him into the corner. Swagger pulls King into the ropes and goes for a springboard body slash, but King moves out of the way. Swagger is getting beat down as Cole whacks Lawler. Lawler gets his hands on Cole and Swagger, and it's a chop block to the knee. However, basically, Lawler gets his hands on Cole in the corner, chop block by Swagger, and then utilises it. And then hold on, I'm getting lost here. Sets in the ankle lock. JR whips Swagger to break the hold. As he's distracted, Lawler hits him back with a DDT. Nice little spot there. Lawler tags in JR, who whips down Swagger and holds in an ankle lock of his own, which is quite funny. Swagger jumps out and tags in Cole. JR wrestles Cole out of the corner and rams him head into the turnbuckle. JR hulks up weirdly, which I don't think you should do if you're mildly fat. Tackles Cole down. He whips Cole, sets him up for an ankle lock. Swagger gets his hands on JR, and JR gives him a low blow. Cole gives him a low blow of his own, rolls him through. 1, 2, 3, gets the win. What a cheap finish. And I have to say, this was mostly crap, even though seeing Cole get whipped was fun. I do not understand. That was worth 0.5 star alone. But that cheap finish, keeping Cole winning, what is the point? We wanted Cole beaten up at Mania. We didn't get it. Wanted Cole beaten up tonight. We didn't get it. I wanted to see a Swagger face turn, but we didn't get that either. In fact, this is the only match tonight where heels actually lost. Yeah, believe that. No other heels lost tonight. This is the only time that it happened. And if this is a reason why this feud needs to end, because the match was shit, even though there were a few little good spots that made me chuckle, apart from that, that was it. Nothing. The loss to mean everything. This is going to be the second pay-per-view running a big fat 0. This is obviously needing to stop. Can't wait to see it end. Honestly, they're going to have to end this sooner or later. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of part 1. Please click in the video responses for part 2. Yeah, you will not want to miss the rest of this.